My name is Sarah Sullivan, and I knew something was wrong the moment the manager's number flashed on my phone. My twins' dream party gone, cancelled, replaced by my ex's new wife's princess event. She thought her connections made her untouchable. She had no idea who she was crossing. From where I sat at my desk, the bright pink invitation stared back at me like an insult. Princess Party at Wonderland Castle, hosted by Emma Patterson. The name alone made my jaw tighten. My ex-husband's new wife had chosen the exact venue she personally blocked my twins from having only a month earlier. The same castle-themed entertainment center Jake and Lily had been dreaming about for their 8th birthday. The same place they talked about non-stop for weeks. I still remember the manager's apologetic tone when he called me 2 days before their party. "I'm so sorry, but the venue has been double booked. Mrs. Patterson specifically requested that date for her daughter's party." And given her husband's position on the city council, now everything made perfect bitter sense. Emma didn't need the castle. She didn't even like the castle. She just wanted what my children wanted. Because she could take it. Because she enjoyed taking it. And back then, what Emma wanted, Emma always got well. At least until now. I picked up my phone and pressed a contact I knew by heart. "Marcus, how's the acquisition paperwork going?" My lawyer actually chuckled. "Everything's official, signed, sealed, and filed. Miss Sullivan, Wonderland Entertainment, and every single one of its subsidiaries now belong to you, though I'm still curious why you insisted we fast-track this purchase." I smiled, staring again at Emma's glitter-covered invitation. "Let's just say I'm planning a birthday party." Emma's smirk replayed in my memory as clear as if she were standing in front of me again. I could still see her glossy smile from school pickup last month right after she'd snatched the venue away. "Oh, Sarah, maybe next time book earlier," she'd said sweetly. "Some of us have connections." Then she flicked her freshly highlighted hair and lifted the engagement ring. My ex-husband James had given her the ring that replaced mine. She never missed a chance to brag about how she rescued him from his disaster of a first marriage. Apparently, being a self-made woman running a consulting firm wasn't impressive enough in their social circle. They needed someone who played the part. My gaze shifted to the framed picture on my office wall. My twins blowing out candles during last year's simple backyard party. After Emma stole their venue, we'd ended up celebrating at a small pizza shop. Jake and Lily had smiled for me, trying so hard to look happy. But I saw the disappointment in their eyes when classmates asked why they weren't having their castle party anymore. My intercom buzzed. "Miss Sullivan, the Wonderland Entertainment board members are here. Send them in." As the executives filed into the boardroom, I recognized one in particular, Thomas Reed, the very manager who canceled my kids' booking. He didn't recognize me at all. Amazing what a tailored suit in a top-floor office can do. "Ladies and gentlemen," I began, "I've reviewed your business operations, and I'm concerned about certain booking practices, specifically, the habit of canceling confirmed reservations for preferred clients." Thomas swallowed hard. "Miss Sullivan, I assure you, we only make rare exceptions for very important like a city council member's wife." I pulled out the printed cancellation slip. "This reservation, my twins' party, was canceled 48 hours before the event to accommodate Mrs. Emma Patterson." His face turned ghost white. We had to discriminate against regular paying families. Fascinating policy. I laid down Emma's newly approved reservation form beside it. "And I see Mrs. Patterson has another party on the books for next weekend." He stuttered. "Mrs. Patterson is about to learn a very valuable lesson," I said calmly, remembering her PD meeting advice. "Some of us have connections." The board members exchanged panicked looks as I slid new policy documents across the table. "Effective immediately. All bookings will be honored in the order they were made. No exceptions. Not for political influence, social rank, or anyone who enjoys reminding others of their importance." "But what about Mrs. Patterson's party?" Thomas whispered. "It will be treated the same as everyone else's." I handed him a letter. "Please ensure she receives this today." Not 10 minutes later, while I was reviewing files, I got a text from Emma. "Got having trouble with the castle booking. Maybe try the pizza place again. It's more your level." I smirked as I typed back. "Actually, I'm meeting with the new owner today. You know how connections work." 3 hours later, my assistant came running behind Emma Patterson as she barged into my office, furious and trembling. Her designer bag swung like a weapon as she stormed up to my desk. "I'm so sorry, Miss Sullivan," she insisted. My assistant whispered. "It's all right, Jenny," I said, leaning back comfortably as Emma's confusion turned into disbelief. She was just now realizing whose office she'd walked into. Emma slammed the cancellation letter on my desk. What did you do? Do you know who I am? You're someone who doesn't know how to schedule appointments, I said casually. But since you're here, please sit. Let's discuss your booking concerns. I don't have booking concerns. I had a confirmed reservation and your company just canceled it. When James hears that his wife received the exact treatment she gave his children, I let the sentence hang, watching her face shift from anger to dawning horror. You bought it, she whispered. She sank into the chair, her confidence falling apart. This is about more than a kid's party, I said calmly. This is about holding entitled people accountable for their behavior. I held up my twins' all booking form. This is about a woman who thought disappointing to 8-year-olds was acceptable just because she wanted their venue. I had every right. And James's position means nothing to me, I cut in. Just like my position meant nothing to you when you bragged about canceling my kid's party. I stood enjoying the shift in power. But here's the thing. I'm not canceling your booking. She blinked in shock. You're not? No, instead, you're going to explain to your daughter why her party will be sharing the venue with my twins' rescheduled celebration. After all, I believe in teaching children how to share. Don't you? You can't do this. Actually, I can. And I already did. I smiled. Some of us have connections, remember? Emma stood clutching her expensive bag like a lifeline. James will hear about this. Good. Tell him his kids say hi. He'd know that himself if he showed up to their events once in a while. She stormed out, and the moment she disappeared, I called my twins. Jake, Lily, how would you like a castle party after all? Trust me, this one's going to be magical. The day of the joint party came with perfect sunshine and the kind of excited chaos only children can create. I had spent the entire week upgrading the venue with new features, things Wonderland Castle had never offered before. Real climbing vines wrapped the exterior walls, twinkling lights glowed around the drawbridge, and inside floating candles drifted along the ceiling thanks to clever hologram tech. The main hall was divided into two halves, one decorated with Emma's classic princess theme. The other turned into a grand wizard academy, Jake and Lily's dream. Their side had sorting ceremonies, one making stations, spell-casting games, and robes waiting for every child. When Emma arrived with her daughter Sophia, she froze in the entrance, her eyes wide at the changes. This isn't what I planned, she stammered. Consider it a complimentary upgrade, I said warmly. We treat all our customers equally. Jake and Lily bounced beside me in their wizard robes, brimming with excitement. Then something unexpected happened. Little Sophia tugged on her mother's hand, staring with awe at the wizard's side of the room. Her eyes sparkled as she whispered, Mommy, can I be a wizard instead of a princess, please? Emma's face turned an interesting shade of red. Absolutely, Nit. We planned your perfect princess party for months. Actually interjected as the venue owner insists all children are welcome to participate in both parties' activities. It promotes inclusivity, something I'm sure a city council member's wife would appreciate. Before Emma could respond, the first guests began arriving. To her obvious horror, most of the children, including her precious princess party attendees, were immediately drawn to Dizard Eyes' activities. The wand-making station, where kids could build their own light-up wandons with special effects, proved particularly popular. You're redoing this on purpose, Emma hissed as past me. You're trying to ruin Sophia's party. I watched as Sophia, now wearing a wizard robe over her princess dress, happily joined my twins in a magical science experiment. Looks like Sophie is having the time of her life to me. Funny how children don't care about adult politics, isn't it? That continued to merge despite Emma's best efforts to keep the group separate. Children flowed freely between both, enjoying the best of both worlds. Even the parents began mingling, many discovering they had more in communion suggested. James arrived an hour late, his standard practice these days. He stopped short when he saw me, clearly not having expected his ex-wife to be hosting half party. But it was the twins' reaction that truly shook him. Dad, they called out, running over in their wizard robes. Look what we made. They proudly showed off their wands and spell books. For Ammon, I saw genuine regret cross his fist as he realized how much of their lives he had missed. The twins had stopped expecting him at their events ago. Sarah, he said as he approached me while the kids returned to their friends. I didn't know you were. Emma said that I couldn't afford these venue, that I wasn't part of the social circle. I raised an eyebrow. Things change, James, sometime, as the people you underestimate end up surprising you. Emma peered at his side, practically dragging him away. Booty noticed his eyes kept drifting back toward children. Throughout the afternoon, he watched as they confidently led their classmates through spellcasting games and potion, making activities clearly in their element. The party reached its climax with a spectacular magic show, another of my additions. The performer incorporated both princes and wizardments, telling a story about cooperation and friendship that had all children cheering. Even Emma's skillfully planned prince's cake ended up sharing the spotlight with my twins' magical color-arranging cupcakes. As the wand down, Sophia approached me, clutching her newly made wand. "Miss Sarah, this was the best party ever. Can he come to Jake and Lily's next party too?" Emma swooped in to collect her daughter, but not before I saw a fee conflict on her face. Her perfect prince party had been upstaged not by malice or revenge, but by simply childhood joy. "Your children are quite remarkable," one of the school board members commented as she prepared to leave. "Such natural leaders. They made Divio feel welcome today." I watched it as my twins said goodbye to their friends, including Sophia, who was still wearing her wizard robe. They've learned that real magic comes from bringing people together, not keeping them apart, thought Dot as the last guest departed and malingered, looking uncharacteristically. Her perfectly planned party hadn't gone as expected, but her daughter was beaming with happiness. "Sophie had a wonderful time," she said stiffly. "Despite the unorthodox arrangements, sometimes the best moments come from unexpected changes." I replied, "Maybe something to remember next time." Why attempted to cancel someone else's celebration. She nodded slightly, then hurried out with Sophia, who was already asking when she could come back to the castle. James followed them, but not before giving me a long look that suggested he was finally seeing Waft walked away from. As I helped Mitwins gather their magical creations, Jake looked up at me. "Mom, did you buy this whole place just for our party?" It smiled, remembering Emma's smug face when she canceled their original celebration. "Let's just say I believe in making magic happen. Now, who wants to help me plan next month's Halloween specula?" Their excited cheered through the castle as we walked out, leaving Emma's prince's decorations bent. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about rising gobo and creating something better. And as I watched my children happily planning our next adventure, I knew it in exactly that. The aftermath of Federal Party rippled through our communal like waves in a still pond. Within a week, Wonderland Entertainment's booking requests had tripled, with PN specifically asking for the magical castle experience. But more interesting were the subtle changes in the social dynamics of our little town. Emma's carefully cultivated social circle began to crack. Mothers who had previously followed her lead started approaching that school pickup, asking about birthday party packages and venue rentals. The same women who had unsuited eye contact now saw my business advice. "I had no idea you were so established." Mrs. Anderson, the PTA president, said during one coffee meeting, "We have a reannual fundraiser coming up and we love to discuss using one of your venues." I sipped my coffee, remembering how she had supported Emma's motion to remove me from the PTA board last year. "Of course, my team believes in separating community events. Unlike some, we don't play favorites." The message spread quickly. Sarah Sullivan wasn't just back in the game, she owned the stadium. But most significant change came from an unexpected quarter. James started showing up at the twins' events, really showing up, not just making brief appearances. I caught him watching them during their school play, actually staying for the entire performance instead of ducking out after the first act. One evening, as I was leaving my office, I found him waiting in the lobby. "The twins mentioned you're hosting a Halloween event at the castle," he said, looking uncomfortable in his expensive suit. "I'd like to help." I feel led me. I study my ex-husband, noting the shadows under his eyes and the slight slump in his usually perfect posture. "This isn't about the venues or me success, James. It's about buying her for your children. I know I've made mistakes. Emma always said, Emma isn't their mother." I cut him off. "And you're old enough to make your own decisions." He nodded slowly. "Safia talks about them constantly now. Abu cool their party was. How kind they were to include her. It made me realize what I've been missing." The Halloween event became a turning point. James how up early to help set up, working galls me to create a spooky but child-friendly atmosphere. Emma arrived later with Sophia, her usual confidence nautically dimmed, watching her daughter immediately run to join my twins in their ghost hunting adventure. Emma approached me. "I've been thinking about what you said about consequences and dental." "Have you now?" Sophia asked. We can't be more like your family. Open, fun, accepting. She twisted her expensive ring. I always thought Statuan connections were everything, but seeing how happy the children were at that party, mixing together regardless of whose parents knew who. Children have your way of cutting through our adult Nancy. I agreed. The event was a massive success. Children from all social circles played together in the haunted castle, their laughter echoing through the corridors. I watched James playing with the twins, helping them solve spooky riddles and hunt for treasures, looking more alive than he had in years. Later that night, after the last ghost had been hunted in the spellcast, I found a note on my desk. Emma's elegant handwriting was unmistakable. You could have used your position to exclude us like I did to you. Instead, you showed me a better way. Sophia asks if we can come to more of your events. If you're willing, I'd like to start over. I placed the note in my desk drawer next to the cancelled booking form that had started this hag journey. Success, I'd learned, wasn't about claiming territory or ascertaining doints. It was about creating space where everyone could thrive. The twins bounded into my office, still wearing Fear Halloween costumes. Mom, can we do this every year? And can Sophia come too? Her house this weekend? She's never had a sleepover. I smiled, remembering Emma's earlier comments about appropriate social circles. Of course she can. Everyone's welcome in our home. As we drove home that night, past the winkling lights of our castle venue, Jake asked, Mom, are you and Dad friends again? We're learning to be better parents, I answered. Honestly, sometimes people need to lose something to understand its value. Like how Emma lost her prince's party but gained wizard friends, Lily added wisely. A lot exactly like that. The twins fall asleep. On the drive, their Halloween costumes slightly askew. In the rearview mirror, I could see the castle's lights gradually fading into distance. My empire built not on exclusion but inclusion, not on revenge but redemption. Sometimes the best way to claim a community isn't by conquering it, but by transforming it into something better. Emma tried to humiliate me, but she never understood where real power comes from. Not status, not circles. The strongest connections are built through moments that pull people together, moments she could never manufacture. In the end, that truth undid everything she planned.